Hey guys, welcome to this micro lecture. Today we're going to talk about using an external thermometer to record somebody's temperature as part of their vital signs survey. So we're going to put a couple of things together. We're not going to talk solely just about the process of sticking an external thermometer into someone's ear and doing the temperature, but instead we're going to put it all together. But first, let's talk about why and when we would take somebody's body temperature. Now let's start by talking about the two main ways of taking body temperature. Now, there's a peripheral temperature, which is your external temperature that you can feel just by touching someone's hand, doing a handshake with them, feeling their forehead. So by all means, you can get an external thermometer, place it on the forehead. This is a really useful way of taking a temperature in children because the less invasive, the less intrusive you are with children, the more likely you are to be able to get an accurate reading. And of course, then there's taking what we call a core body temperature. Core body temperatures are invasive procedures whereby you're inserting something into the ear or in the rectal cavity, if that's what your environment is indicated to do so. Pre-hospitally, we generally use just the ear cavity only, and the rectal method is usually reserved for intensive care units and hospitals. Okay, at first you might think, taking a body temperature, not really that useful, not really that important, but just try and think about some of the situations pre-hospitally when you were actually going to need that. Now, let's take, for example, a patient who's calling you for chest pain, just as one example. You need to work out as the paramedic, what is the cause of that chest pain? Is it acute coronary syndrome? In other words, is it caused by a heart problem or is it caused by a respiratory problem? Now, one of the biggest call-outs for respiratory problems is chest infections, pneumonia, some kind of infection in the body. And the biggest way you can resolve this and work out if it's chest infection is through the body temperature. Now, the body temperature should be maintained at 36.5 to 37.5 degrees C. Anything over 37.5 is what we call a PUO, a pyrexia of unknown origin, or just a hyperthermia. Now, of course, when it gets above 39 degrees, that's called a hyperpyrexia. So you can see how that's really, really important. Anything below 36.5 is known as a hypothermia. Now, other times you might find a situation of a hypo or hyperthermia is when your patient's been exposed to the elements. Maybe they've been sunburned and their body temperature is too high. Maybe they've been caught out by the weather in another way, shape, or form, and it's low. And therefore, by knowing what the body temperature is, you can treat it. For example, if their body temperature is low, you can put a blanket over them or use a certain type of heating device, whatever your service is using. Likewise, if they're overheating, you can take clothing off, given the circumstances, making sure you're maintaining confidentiality. Now, when would you do this? Now, of course, your primary survey is always first: danger response, airway, breathing, circulation. Then at some point, when you get into your secondary survey, you will be asking and prioritizing a body temperature with your crewmate, depending on the circumstances. So, for example, if somebody is saying that they've got a sharp stabbing chest pain and they've got a cough, absolutely, you might want to just quickly say to your crewmate, can you get me a tympanic thermometer and do me a temperature, please? So that's a whistle-stop tour of a vital signs survey temperature. My name's Sam Willis. I hope you've enjoyed this micro lecture, and I look forward to talking to you again shortly.